Okay, guys, so welcome back to Strong Opinion Hibs. This is episode number 23. I'm your host, Colin, and I'm joined by Charlie. How are you doing, Charlie?
I'm good, mate. I'm delighted after yesterday's performance. How are you?
I'm doing fine, mate. Doing absolutely fine. Just last couple of weeks of the summer holidays and that before I go back to work. So just trying to get everything in order, get the house in order, start thinking about getting prepared for going back to school and that. And just try to relax at the same time too. Finish painting my fence and all that. But I just up to just bits and pieces, mate. Not too much, but had a hell of a time this week trying to fight with that bloody Hibs ticket and the Hibs ticket ballot, the ballot ticket. Oh my god! I must have been on that website at least, and I'm not joking you, the listeners, at least 50, 60 times trying to get tickets just to enter the ballot for that game against Rijeka, which is coming up on Thursday night. I was panicking because I thought I wasn't going to get any because I left it because I couldn't sign in on the website to apply for a ticket for some reason. Every time I logged in on the e-ticketing website and the Hibs website, it would say that I wasn't valid even though I'm a season ticket holder. So I didn't get that. And I think a few other people had the same thing, and quite a lot of the listeners, wrote to us on Twitter and that and tried to help me sort it out. So I do appreciate that for anyone's advice. But hopefully if you had difficulty as well, you managed to get there in the end, and hopefully we can all be there and cheer on the team, mate. But
we've got two in the ballot anyway, mate. So hopefully we've got them.
Hopefully, mate. Hopefully, we'd be surprised if we didn't get them. But if we don't get them, that's just the way it goes, eh? And we'll support the team for home or whatever. So if you didn't manage to get a ticket, Ken, your voice at home and that, and supporting the lads for home is just as important. And get behind the club because it's a difficult time for the club, Ken. It's new, it's a new venture for them as well, and it's something that they probably wish they didn't have to deal with. And unfortunately, someone's got to be left unhappy. So it's just the way it goes. But if the club could have it their way, they'd have us all there. Do you know what I mean? So didn't get on at Hibs on Twitter and that and saying, Ken, this and that, bad mouthing the club. Just support the team, eh?
Aye, absolutely.
So ran over, mate. Ran over. You can see I'm a bit flustered, mate. It's been a busy day. It's been a busy week, mate. But I'm looking forward to sitting down and talking to you about yesterday's game. So what did you think, mate? How would you sum up that performance in one word?
Roller coaster. I'll go with roller coaster. I thought
that's a good one, aye.
I thought first half we looked good, but we were just a bit frustrating to watch it defensively. The two Motherwell goals were preventable, in my opinion. But the second half, mate, we were a new team. We come out, we fought for every ball. The substitutions for Jack Ross, fantastic yesterday. His game management yesterday was top notch, and it was nice to see us come from behind and win, which we only done a couple of times last season, but it's nice to see that in the first game of this season, but we've done it. So I would say a roller coaster would be the way I'd describe it.
Aye, but I'd probably just go with persevere, eh? Persevered to the end and got the result, which was good. That was twice this week we've came from behind to win. So delighted with that. Good. We put out a wee tweet saying it was really good character for the boys. Like, I kind of think they've got the winning bug a little bit.
It looks like it, mate.
Aye, it was something that well, we're going to touch on later, but I've just mentioned it. Jack Ross seems to have that sort of feel-good feeling about the club, and he's mentioned quite a lot in pre-season how he wants to sort of get in the habit of winning games, even though it's only pre-season. At the time now, obviously, league games and that, he wants to get in the habit of winning games, which we've been able to do. And I think you could really see that yesterday, with the passion of the players when they did win the game, they were ecstatic. They were absolutely buzzing. I mean, Doidge, you can see the passion in his celebration. Aye. Boyle, when he tucks a penalty away, just the passion. Jack Ross on the sidelines, Porteous, they were all really passionate, and you could tell that, this isn't a team that's just showing up to take part. Like, this is a team that wants to win. And that's something I don't think we've seen from a lot of Hibs teams, but I really like the way the club are going and that sort of winning mentality and winning culture. I think we sort of developed that under Stubbs and Lennon, but it's we lost our way for a wee bit with the Heckingbottom situation, but now I think that we're back on the right roads, mate. It was really good to see that. That's something I took away for the game yesterday, just seeing the passion that the players had, and I think they all want to play for the team and they want to play for each other, and it's a good group of lads, mate. Aye.
Very good group of players, and like I touched briefly on it, the substitutions. That's the sign of a good manager, that he's not scared to bring off a defensive minded player for an attacker or other way about. And I thought, you're right, Jack Ross. At the end of the game, he was over with the fans. Celebrating with them. I saw Porteous was winding the Motherwell fans up after the game, and it's just, that's what you want to see, mate. You want to see our bigger players getting invested in a win, and I thought we were fantastic. The fans were good, the players were good. Jack Ross was brilliant. So it's just, hopefully it's the start of something special this season. I'm confident we've got a good squad going into this season, and I do think we need a couple more, but we'll talk about that a wee bit later on. But I think it's the makings of a fantastic season based on yesterday's performance.
It was a good statement to put out, saying to the rest of the league as well, just to let them know that this Hibs side isn't just going to roll over. Ken, it's not a pushover when we're losing. We're no Ken defeated. We'll fight to the end, and I think that was a really good message to send out. And it was a really big ask as well. I thought of the boys, Ken, playing midweek, then coming away to Motherwell. Motherwell's always a tricky game, Ken, no matter sort of the pre-season they've had. Again, they've had a couple of poor results in pre-season and that, but it's always been a competitive game for Hibs, and I think it was really good that they went away and playing 2 games in 1 week in a short turnaround, really coming back from Andorra and that, because it wasn't easy to get to Andorra for them.
No.
I think they flew into Spain and then they had a 2-hour bus journey to Andorra, and then after the match they were back the same day, 2 hours back on the bus to Spain to get the flight back over. There was a lot of travelling in that for the boys, and to then go away to Motherwell and get the victory was superb. So I think they deserve big credit for that, which is a testament to their character again. Anyway, mate, we'll jump into the some of the calls in the match. What did you think of the first penalty shout?
The Hibs one?
It was a ball through from Kevin Nisbet, picks it up in the midfield and feeds it through to McGuinness, and he's running through, and he gets a push for the Motherwell defender. It's
a Stonewaller, mate. 100% Stonewall penalty. The boy's got no intention to play the ball, and he's already been booked, so he should have been off, in my opinion. But it was nice to see that we did get one. But the first one, 100% penalty.
I thought it when I seen it as well. I thought it was a penalty, especially from open play. It looked like it was a penalty, because I don't know why McGuinness would go down there. I mean, he was in a good goal scoring opportunity as well. So yeah, I think it was definitely a penalty. But as we say, these things sort of iron themselves out over the course of the season. And what did you think of the second penalty claim then, the one we actually did get?
I thought it was a penalty as well. Handball. It's a fair shout for the ref. I think if we hadn't got that one, we would have been asking a wee bit of a question of the ref. But it's nice to see if we did get that one. But I think second one's a penalty as well.
Yeah, I think that shot from Nisbet was finding the back of the net unless it hit that boy's hand. So I think it had to be given. And did you have any sort of worries about Boyle stepping up?
We've never really been that good at penalties over the years, for what I can remember. So I was confident with Boyle, though. I think he usually, when he gets a penalty, he scores it. But I thought once we'd equalised, I thought we were going to win it. So when Boyle stepped up, I was confident he was putting it in. Good penalty, mind you. Keeper dived the right way, but it was too far into the side net to get to. So good penalty.
Yeah, I think he's a super player for us as well, and I think he's I didn't have any worries about him stepping up, especially that one he scored a couple of weeks ago against Santa Coloma as well. Yeah, he's pretty cool, calm and collected, and I think he backs himself as well. He seems quite confident, and he's definitely one of our better players. I think, I thought Nisbet might have been in the running for taking the penalties as well, but it seems like it's Boyle's position.
Boyle's been taking them since October when Nisbet missed that against Hearts, I think.
That's right. That's right.
So it's my cracking penalty. Took it really well.
I was delighted about that. Who was the sort of standout players for you then yesterday? Was there anyone who really impressed you with their performance?
McGuinness again. I think he's going to be a massive player for us this season. I think Porteous was a men's gain. I think he's proven a lot of people, myself included, wrong. I think if he can screw the nut and cut these wee mistakes out that he sometimes makes, I think he's got the makings to be our best player. And Jake Doyle-Hayes, when he come off the bench, he was brilliant as well. So the three of those were the standouts. I thought the majority of them had a good game, but the three of them were the standouts for me.
Just running through the starting lineup, obviously we had Macy in goals, which was no surprise. McGinn, Porteous, Hanlon and Stevenson as a back four. Gogic, McGuinness, Newell, Boyle, Nisbet and Murphy as well in there. Was there anyone that sort of shocked you as missing out?
Obviously Josh Doig, when I saw that he was missing, but obviously there's a reason for that we'll come on to in a wee bit. But I've got to be honest, mate, Gogic was like a man down yesterday, I felt. The two goals that Motherwell scored came from his bad defending. McGinn as well a wee bit for the first one, but
right.
I thought Gogic and Murphy never really were up to much yesterday, I felt. But but apart from that, it was pretty. Maybe Alan missing out, but I don't know.
Did he have a knock or something like that? What was the situation there, or did he just know?
Well, he never travelled to Andorra with a wee bit of a knock that they thought was going to be fine for him.
Right.
I think hopefully he's fine for Thursday. But maybe Alan, even not coming off the bench, especially when he brought young Josh Campbell on, I thought he'd maybe throw Alan on for the last 10. But that maybe Alan was the only one, and Doig as well, but we'll come to Doig, why he wasn't playing.
I think Scott Allen was one for me that sort of, raised my eyebrow. I thought, God, on his good day is our best player and one of the best players in the league, so I was surprised, but it's good to see we've got a lot of bodies in there that fit in as well. It's a good squad. It's a good bench as well. That's for the first time in a long time you look at the bench and you've thought there's a few players there that could actually come on and change the game.
I was going to say that the bench is looking a lot better than it was last season, and that's really good to see that we've got a strong bench, even the younger players as well, like Mackay and Campbell, and I'm sure Bradley will be in and about the bench as well. That's positive to see all these younger players on the bench that can come on, and all three of the younger boys that I've mentioned have all had good impacts so far in pre-season. So, I think it's a good squad. I think we're missing a couple, but I think we'll get there by the end of August.
I'd agree with you as well. I just think, as I said there earlier, it's the first time I've looked at the bench and I've thought bench is strong. Which is good. Especially with guys like Doidge coming on and making an impact as well. I mean, that's super to get him on the score sheet as well.
Straight away impact. It was good. He saw what it meant. Saw what it meant to him yesterday when he scored as well. Celebration. He was right over giving it big arms and that. So I'm glad he got an early goal, because I think that'll hopefully put him in good stead. Hopefully he doesn't go for another run like last year where he went nearly 20 games without a goal. But I think it's good to see him scoring early on.
Exactly. I think one of the things as well was the fact he never featured much in pre-season. So it was really nice to get him. It was really nice to get him in the squad and see him doing really well as well, which was fantastic. So I was really pleased with that. I think that just about sums the Motherwell game up, mate. Move on to our next sort of section we're looking at here. Is Josh Doig leaving? The news broke yesterday. The manager informed us that he was going to be leaving. Undisclosed fee, undisclosed club, but they do expect for him to be moving on early this week. So what's your sort of thoughts on that, mate?
I'm a bit gutted he's leaving, to be honest. I thought he probably would have potentially got another season out of him. But he goes with every Hibs fan's blessing. He was fantastic last season. I do wonder though if it's maybe a bit early for him with how he had no fans last season, and then obviously fans are back. Not that makes a much of a difference, because he played last week and played in pre-season. But I think it's hopefully going to be the fee that we're looking for. I hope we're not being pushed over by this English team for less money than we're wanting. But I think it just leaves a gap in the team now. We need to buy another left back, because we've only got one, so we do need another one. But I think he's earned his move, and good luck to him wherever he goes.
I think the same. I think my first initial thought was when, a team had bought him, but they weren't really willing to say who or for how much. I kind of thought, all right, then, like, hopefully it's like, I know Arsenal and West Ham were interested. I thought, hopefully it's one of they two. They've given us the 5 million that we were asking for, because those two previously were interested, but they thought Hibs' price was too high, so they told Hibs to lower their price. So I kind of first thought when I heard, I thought, it must be Arsenal and it must be West Ham that's actually came in and met the asking price. And then what they might do is they might loan him back to us for a season. And I thought that would be the best case scenario for us, other than I'm staying, obviously. But I thought, no, that would be the best case scenario. But it looks like he's actually off and he won't be returning, which is good and bad. Obviously, it's bad because he's a cracking player and he's got a lot of potential. At the same time, though, I'm probably speaking out of turn here. You never know how it's going to go. You can that he could have maybe crumbled in front of the fans this season. Highly unlikely, but he's had one good year. You didn't know if this year he's going to replicate that, and if you can pass him on for 45 million, or 3 million. I mean, I'd go straight away and I'd stick £1 million down on that. Jason Kerr. I think we need to use the money for him to enhance the team. So obviously we've got Stevenson there at left back, and we've got Mackie. Mackie's injury prone, and Stevenson can't play a Thursday night and a Sunday. It's got to be too much for him. So we're going to have to get someone else in there. Whether we give an academy boy a shout, I think we're going to have to look at the academy quite a lot this year for support. But I think that money has to be reinvested in the team pronto.
I hope so. I hope so, mate.
Hopefully we've given ourselves a good shout with how much we've asked for. I think Hibs fans will be disappointed if we have undersold ourselves. But for what I've heard anyway, the guys at the club, Ron Gordon and that, he knows we don't have to sell. And we don't. One of the things that I've really liked about Gordon, which he says in quite a lot of his interviews, that Hibs are a club where we want to remain competitive, but we also don't want to stunt player growth. So, for example, if Arsenal or someone like this has came in for the young laddie Doig, for Doig's development, yes, we'll probably have to let him go so he can enhance his career. But we're not going to let him go and enhance his career to our detriment. Do you know what I mean? So that we're now going to suffer because we have now left ourselves short. So I'm confident that with the decision Gordon's obviously made, that he's going to, reinvest in the club, or he's going to manage to put that money back in, and we won't be short. We'll get by. So I'm really looking forward to that, mate. So he'll be missed, as you said. He'll definitely go with everyone's blessings, but I do think Hibs have got a plan in place, and I don't think this will be a sort of last-minute shock like it has been in the past couple of years for Hibs, and time's gone by like that.
It was nice to see that Jack Ross did say in his interview that he wished it was maybe 2 weeks ago it got done, but I think with the whole incident with Arsenal telling us to lower the fee, I think that's maybe what stunted it. But I think it was sensible leaving Josh out of the team yesterday, because if he'd played and got a bad injury, then we're left with a player who's injured and we're not selling. So it's I think it was a smart move for Josh's head as well. I think he's probably got his heart set on the move now, so maybe would have been better for him not to play. But good luck to him. From I think most, if not all, Hibs fans also good luck to him going.
Of course it will be. We definitely miss him, but hopefully he goes away and develops his career, and we've made a bit of good business from it, mate.
Totally.
So moving on to the Rijeka preview. Obviously, we're playing them on Thursday night. We spoke a wee bit about how difficult it was for us to enter the actual ballot for a ticket. Managed to do it though, so hopefully we'll get one and we'll be there in person. They're obviously a step up from the Andorran side that we faced, Santa Coloma. Just a little bit of background on them. They were in the Europa League, Rijeka. They were in the Europa League group stage last year, the 2020-2021 season, and they were in a group with Napoli, Real Sociedad, that AZ Alkmaar, from, I think they're from Holland,
Mhm.
and Rijeka themselves. And they did finish bottom of that group. They finished bottom of the group with 4 points. And third place was at AZ Alkmaar with 8 points. Then it was Real Sociedad, and then it was Napoli that obviously topped the group. So you can see they do have a little bit European, experience. And they've played some big teams in there. None of those teams that we've just mentioned are mugs. They're all
No.
they're all good sides. Real Sociedad, that AZ Alkmaar, and Napoli. So they definitely know how to play against European opposition. I mean, I think taking 4 points from that group is actually quite an achievement, to be fair, for a Croatian side. So I think what that tells us straight off the back is we can expect a tough game on Thursday night.
Definitely.
What's your thoughts on the game on Thursday night then, Charlie? Are you looking? What are you thinking about it?
I'm excited for it, mate. I think it's going to be a real test. I think it also, it's like you said, it's a step up from Santa Coloma, which, I want Hibs to be playing teams like that every season. I want us to be in Europe every year and playing teams like that have got that experience to actually show where we are as a club. And I think we can go in with no fear. I think it's 2 games. Away goals don't count. I think we can go in with no fear. I think hopefully we can get a win at home. Because that if we lose on Thursday, we're having to chase the game in Croatia. It's gonna be hard. But I think if we win on Thursday or get a point, if we avoid defeat and go over there with no fear and just go for it. But I'm looking forward to it, mate. I think it'll be nice to hopefully have more fans inside Easter Road as well, and hopefully us and the guys we were with last time can get tickets. So yeah, really looking forward to it, and it'll be nice to be back at Easter Road again, hopefully.
I don't want to look too much into this season because they've only played 3 games, but they are sitting top of the table at the moment. Last year they did finish third, but they're sitting top of the table at the moment. They've played 3 games, 1-2, drawn 1, and the draw they had at the weekend there was 3-3 against Dynamo Zagreb, who actually were the league winners last year. One thing to note here, looking at their table, is they do concede a lot of goals, this team. I mean, last year, goals against, they had 46 goals against, which was, one of the highest in the league.
Yeah.
So one of the highest goals conceded in the league. And if you look at Hibs last season, goals against, Hibs only conceded 35 goals last season, and we scored 48 ourselves. So
we score a few goals, so that's
we'll
good.
definitely create chances, and hopefully, we've got the caliber of players to put them away, like Kevin Nisbet, like Martin Boyle, and Doidge getting amongst the goals. So what that tells me is they're definitely there to go away and attack. And I'm looking forward to it, mate. I think it will be a tough game. I'm under no illusion that we'll walk this one.
No.
I think Rijeka are a caliber above the Greek team we played a couple years ago. That Asteris Tipolis or something, Tipias. I think they're a clash above them, so I do think it'll be a tough tie. We did mention one of their players to sort of watch out for. One of the ones that sort of stands out to us was that Doidge.
Yeah.
He seems like a decent player. He's one of the ones I've noticed. They've got another boy that played in the Euros there. He played for North Macedonia as well. If you don't know much about Doidge, he used to play for Norwich, and he was a decent striker. So played at quite a high level. Also plays for the Switzerland national team as well. So we'll see what it's like. He's played for some good German teams as well, like Bayer Leverkusen, Borussia Mönchengladbach, Hamburg. So he's definitely been about sort of top end caliber clubs. So will definitely be a tough match, but we've got a solid defence in that, mate, and it's hard to predict these things. We'll go there, we'll get a bash, and hopefully we do the business, mate.
I hope we get the win. I think that's the main thing, is we get a positive result and we take it over there and hope for the best. So
I completely agree. So we had, do you know what? We'll jump onto kit numbers right now. Let's jump onto the kit numbers for this week's episode. You want to find us away, mate?
Aye, so we've had a few players wearing number 23 since 2000, so I'll run through them. So we had Alan Orman, Kevin McDonald, Ross Chisholm, Valdis Trakas, Akpo Soji, Dylan McGeoch, Jordan Forster, Chara Lampos Mavrias, I hope I didn't butcher that, and Scott Allen, current number 23.
Scott Allen, easy.
Alan Orman for me.
Seriously?
Aye.
Aye? I thought he was honking, man.
Really, I really liked Orman. He was one of the players that I remember when I first started watching Hibs. So I'll go with Orman.
I'm surprised at that. Like,
I'm not going to put Ross Chisholm the pointer. He loved a wee point to himself,
he was horrendous. Wasn't a good player. So remember, Orman got booted in the heat by Van Persie in the Champions League.
Aye. Orman scored a beauty at Ibrox, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you're right there. You're right.
I mean, we got beat 6-2 that day, but I remember Orman's goal. But there's no many good players on that list.
Scott Allen for me is head and shoulders above you. I think he's one of the best Hibs players I've ever seen in my time. Jordan Forster was not a bad player. I think he was just at Hibs at a bad time. McGeoch was class when he was there. Don't think he was a number 23. I think he was a better number than that. I could be wrong.
McGeoch was 23 when he joined. You're right. I think he wore number 10 that season.
That's right. Aye, that's right. That's why I remember him as a better player there.
I can't remember much more of the. Akpo Soji was all right. Trakas.
Oh Christ, mate! I once got Soji in the back of my. No, did I? I never got Soji. No, I never. I was got the Hibs done a thing where basically you could pay £4 or something like that to get one of the new signings on the back of your strip if you brought into the club shop. So I went in and there was a list of about 5 or 6 absolutely minging players. And Akpo Soji was one of them. And I think I thought about it, but I ended up going with Martin Scott. Scott. I think it was like Scott 44 or something on the back of my top, which was an absolute embarrassment. So we'll leave that one out.
So Calvin, you had a relatively important meeting with somebody for Hibs last week. Do you want to touch on that a wee bit?
Yeah, definitely, mate. I won't give too much away because, nothing's set in stone yet, but we did have a really good meeting with Greg McEwen, who's the head of marketing and brand partnerships at Hibs. And I met him for a coffee. He brought me a cup of tea, which was really nice of him. Tried to get in there first and buy him one, but no, he was a really, really, really nice guy, really genuine, really down to earth. And he gave me the impression that, he really cared about the club and, really assured me that the club's in the right hands. And I just got a really feel good vibe, obviously, from the meeting we have. The meeting that we had was about some of the ideas that we'd had on the podcast, some ways to sort of engage the fan base and something that Recast is also interested in us doing. So we've been in touch with Recast as well. And the thing we want to do, Charlie, that you're obviously aware of, is after-match interviews. So in the style of Arsenal fan TV, West Ham fan TV, that's a really popular type of content that's grown in the football world. And, it's quite popularly watched as well. Fans from other clubs watch it. And I think it's something that currently Hibs don't have going. And it's a gap in the market that we've sort of seen, and something that we think we could, bring that type of content to the fans. So we're going to do that. We're going to have that on Recast. And the good thing about having these after-match interviews on Recast is that if you obviously sign up to the Recast app and buy it to watch the interview, then Hibs get money from it. So Hibs are making money, which for me as a fan is absolutely brilliant because it goes to it goes to the club. We get the likes, goes into the budget or whatever the club choose to spend it on is absolutely brilliant. So these after fan interviews are going to be set up. I'm going to be using my tripod camera. We'll have a microphone. I'll try and do it really professional. And as we said, it's going to be in the style of Arsenal fan TV. So we'll be outside the West Stand after the match day. We'll grab a couple fans that are passing if they want to get in touch with us beforehand on Twitter and say they'd like to come on and share their opinions of how the match went. That's something we're looking to do, and we're in the early stages of working with the club. The club really like the idea. the club think that it's going to be a great opportunity to get more exposure for the club on social media. So they're really behind us and they're supporting us in it, which is fantastic. They're going to help us out with that. And the second little snippet I can give you is we are trying to advance the people that we have on the podcast. We're trying to get a little look behind the scenes at Hibs. So, for example, there's a lot of great people at the club that do fantastic work. So, the way I sort of pitched it to Greg was the fact that, you know, growing up, I used to want to play for Hibs. I wanted to be the number 9. I wanted to be the striker. It was all I dreamt about. And you look at me, it obviously didn't turn out. And I think that's the case for a lot of young boys growing up and girls. And I think they can sort of fall out of love with football. And, you know, they might start down a different venture, whether they become, you know, go to university and do some sort of degree. And I think they can fall out of love with the game. But what we wanted to do was have a look at beyond the 11 players on the pitch and, you know, interview people in and around the club. For example, people like Greg McKeown, who is head of marketing and brand partnerships at Hibs. So he's in charge for, you know, getting the Utilia sponsor on the top of the ships, top of the strips, the NHS sponsor last year, the Eden Mill sponsorship that we've got going, all these fantastic initiatives that the club's got going. You know, is that something that a fan listening to these interviews might be interested in doing? How do they get involved in something like that? Interviewing some of the sports scientists at Easter Road. You know, how did they get into that? What did they study? What type of avenues is there into football other than actually playing on the pitch? You know, looking at speaking to some of the chefs at Easter Road and things like that as well. And obviously the players as well. The club are really interested in the podcast. They like the content. They're really appreciative of the work we do, and they are more than happy to work with us as a fan partnership to help bring content to the fans, which at the end of the day is what it's all about, and just really shining a light on the great work that goes on at Hibs. So that's something that we're looking to bring to the platform in the next couple of months, and we'll see how it goes. We're really looking forward to it. It was a really positive meeting, and I just want to say once again, obviously, thanks to Greg for taking the time
Absolutely.
to sort of entertain our ideas and help us develop, you know, this thing that we've started. And it's really nice to see that the club is coming from multiple different voices. You know, they are, although they're in a position where they work for the club directly, it's really important, like Greg was saying, it's really important that they don't have one voice. So our voice is just as important, because they're just sort of custodians for the club, but we are the fans, we are the club as well, and our voice is just as important. And I really love that Hibs are really interested in the fan engagement, and Hibs are interested in, you know, hearing from the likes of me and you, or hearing from other podcasts and other fans. You know, they want to be this sort of community club, which I think in years gone by, I mean, go back to the Butcher era, the Fenlon era, you know, Colin Calderwood, this is something that, you know, Hibs, they did not feel like your club. They felt so far away and they felt so distant, and they felt, you know, almost just like, I don't know, it wasn't a two-way thing. It was very much just they'd take our money and they didn't really care about what the outcome on the pitch was or what we thought as fans. So I'm really, really happy with the hands that Hibs are in. They're in safe hands, and they're definitely going in the right direction, mate.
Oh, for sure.
So, aye, that was it, mate. That was the little meeting we had. It was absolutely fantastic. And as I said, if you'd like to get involved with these interviews that we're going to be doing at the West Stand, just give us a shout. On Twitter, you can reach out to us. If you see us on Thursday night after the European match, please come over and say hello. This is something that won't work without the fans. So if you're a fan of the podcast, come over, help us out. It's really important as well. And it's all about hearing from the fans at the end of the day. Like, I'm really interested in, you know, that's the reason I started this podcast, mate, is because I'm interested in talking about Hibs, and I'm interested in hearing what other people think about Hibs. And that's one of the reasons for starting this sort of fan interaction as well. We want to hear from them. We want to talk about our club, and we want to, you know, just talk about the thing we love. Really, I feel like I'm rambling a bit, but I think I've hopefully hit the nail on the head, mate.
Absolutely, and I will hopefully have some strong opinion Hibs t-shirts that we're wearing on Thursday as well. So if you see them, you know who we are, and come over, and we'd love to hear your views after the game on Thursday. Hopefully we've got a ticket, because it would be a bit pointless if we're doing an after match if we're not there. So
well, I sort of said that, mate. The t-shirts are coming on Thursday. I've ordered them to come on Thursday, but guaranteed they'll come at 7 o'clock or something like that. Just as just as I'm arriving at Easter Road, they'll be arriving at my house. It's just the way the cookie crumbles, so I've already got myself prepared for that. And no, really looking forward to it. Really, really, really enjoying the way the club's going and that. And it's a brilliant time to be a Hibs supporter.
Absolutely,
it's a really good time. So I think that's pretty much it for this episode.
Well, if you're going on, if you hear tomorrow that you're going on Thursday, enjoy it, and we'll hopefully see some of you Thursday. And until next time, come on, Hibs.